case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
In the 1989 case of Smallman v. Home Federal Savings Bank, a legal disagreement arose when Home Federal Savings Bank charged back funds from David Smallman and his wife Tommie's checking account due to a returned unpaid check. The Smallmans were left with 14 unpaid checks and a zero balance in their account, sparking a legal battle significant enough to land the dispute before Tennessee's Court of Appeals. The Smallmans had sold the business inventory for $703.87 and accepted a check as payment from buyer Linda Petruzzello. Upon depositing the check into their Home Federal Bank account, the check was later returned unpaid due to insufficient funds in Petruzzello's account and lost in the return process. More than 4 months after the deposit, Home Federal received a second notification that Petruzzello's check would not be paid, still failing to alert the Smallmans. It wasn't until the Smallmans received a dishonor notice on September 12th or 13 and discovered a zero balance in their account 3 days prior that they learned of the unpaid check from their bank. Further complications followed when Home Federal closed the Smallmans' account after 14 checks were returned unpaid due to the earlier mentioned chargeback. The Smallmans responded with a lawsuit, which resulted in a jury awarding them $703.87, the amount of the initial check, and $30,000 in additional damages. However, the legal battle didn't end here, with both parties appealing. Home Federal claimed the trial court had erred in the damages calculated and evidence allowed. Meanwhile, the Smallmans argued that the court was wrong in directing a verdict for Home Federal on their claim for punitive damages. The crux of the appeal before the Tennessee Court of Appeals was whether Home Federal had the right to a chargeback despite not meeting the deadline and having no good reason for the extension. The court, in sifting through the narratives at the trial level, determined that the Smallmans could potentially be entitled to other damages beyond the original $703.87. The court, however, cautioned that a claim of bad faith or punitive damages could not be substantiated unless clear evidence was provided. Ultimately, the court partially agreed and disagreed with the trial court's decisions, thereby affirming in part, reversing in part, and sending the case back for further proceedings and cost collection. Leaving both the Smallmans and Home Federal to evenly split the costs of the appeal, the case sets a precedent of how nuanced banking disagreements can translate into a significant financial and legal affair.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of climb.